What is up, you beautiful buggers? Welcome back to Budget Cars and Bikes and to a new project. Yeah, we bought another crash car. What I got this time? Let's take a little look around. Alright, well, if you saw the project we did on the little Vauxhall Corsa, the little white one, that has now gone on to its new owner, and they're loving it. They came and they looked at it and made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and it went straight out the door. No problem with that one whatsoever. I'm hoping you've seen that video series. I think there's probably 3 in that video. I'll stick them in this top right-hand corner throughout this video, so you can check those out. That came to us very, very similar to this, as in it had a nasty, great big dent in the side. So what have we picked up this time? Well, I decided to go for an SUV simply because our old SUV, that little RAV4 over there, has been with us for some 12 years now, and it is 23 years old, and it's on its last legs, bless it. It has served us well, but it is time to upgrade somewhat. So taking that in mind, I decided to go for a Nissan Qashqai. I think that's how you pronounce it. You may have to chime in and let me know in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure it's a Nissan Qashqai. Anyway, it's an odd looking word. This is a 2011, obviously not a diesel. It took me quite some time to find a petrol version of the Qashqai because they tend to be 2-litre diesels, and I wanted something a bit more economical for me and the family, as it were. And this came along 1.6 petrol, so it automatically that reduces our road tax bill by about £150 a year. So there's a saving straight away. Plus that RAV4 is a 2-litre petrol, and this is a 1.6-litre petrol, so that should be better on, oddly enough, petrol. So I'm hoping that's all going to work out. As for damage, this will be a very quick walk around video, guys, because there's not really much I can tell you or show you until we start getting things apart. But as you can see, just in there, it's taken a little bit of a knock on that bottom corner, but I think the bumper itself will go back into shape. That's my theory anyway. I'm hoping to do that trick where you've probably seen it on YouTube videos, where you just get some boiling water, you pop it in there, and you just pop out that bit of plastic. I'm hoping if we can get that bit of plastic there, because it's quite a large area there, we can get that warm enough to just pop back out. It should, in theory, bring this little bit of plastic with it. So the whole thing should just literally come out like so. And I'm hoping to be able to reuse this bit of trim, because they're about 50 quid each just for that bit of trim. And how do I know that? Because I've already bought a replacement wing for this car, and they did say it came with the trim, and lo and behold, there it didn't. So yeah, what are you going to do? There's nothing actually wrong with this bit of trim until you get to this kind of corner here. So obviously what we're going to do, the first job is going to be to either take that wheel off or see if we can get everything out of the way without taking it off. But generally speaking, we're going to have to jack this up exactly the same way as we did with the little Vauxhall Corsa. So we're going to have to jack this up, get that wheel off, get it on an axle stand, whip this wing off, and then get that headlight out, because as you can see, that headlight is absolutely mullered. We did manage to find a headlight, actually, 100 quid. That's in the boot, ready to go. And as I said, I'd managed to find a wing in colour. Absolute bloody disaster, basically, the wing, in the respect that I found one in colour with the trim for 95 quid. It turns out it didn't come with the trim, so they refunded me 15 quid. And then when it arrived, well, I'll show you how it arrived. Well, the wings arrived from Synetic after many emails backwards and forwards. Firstly, they said it did have the trim, then they said it didn't. Now it's arrived, and it looks like it's been packed by a 3-year-old child. I mean, if you look at that, that is the padding. There's the wing. There is absolutely, I mean, I can literally do that, and there's the wing inside. That is shocking. There is no protection on that at all. I'm guessing this is going to be returned as an absolute bloody disaster. Thank you, Synetic. Yeah, not great, is it really? And yeah, that is our replacement wing down there. And as you can see, a dirty great big scratch all the way along there, and a nice little chunk missing from there as well. So again, thank you, Synetic, for yeah, you know, being brilliant as always. I mean, I've had a subscription with Synetic for quite some time now, probably 2 or 3 years. I won't be renewing it this year because this is the 3rd thing I bought from Synetic, as in parts for cars, that's turned into a complete bloody drama. And a lot of sellers have actually stopped using Synetic. They use Salvage Market instead, which is, from my point of view, better because you don't actually have to pay a subscription. So I'm not going to bother with Synetic anymore. Salvage Market, I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in that. I don't think there's any problems looking at that wheel there with any kind of suspension issues or tracking issues or anything like that. Everything looks like it's okay, but I got a feeling it's been sat around for quite some time because that disc is so rusty, it's unbelievable, as is the wheel. The caliper, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is whip all 4 wheels off this car at some point and just repaint them silver, or maybe even black, just to hide them out of the way a little bit. As for the car itself though, I mean obviously we've talked about the damage. There's the wing there, which we've got a replacement for. The headlight, that's pretty much it. I'm really hoping we're going to be able to pop that out. You will follow that story with me, and that will save a lot of dramas, because otherwise we're going to have to get a whole new bumper, which is going to be a bloody disaster. I mean, worst case scenario is I'll just have to put up with a little dent in the front bumper until I can find a cheap or reasonably priced front bumper. But I'm hoping, as I said, that we can just fix that with some boiling water. Everything else seems fine. The tyres are all relatively good. As you can see, the cat's come out to have a look at the new car as well, bless her. The one thing that you can never see, and this is one thing that I did say I would never buy another black car, and the reason for that is little things like this. I mean, as you can see just in there, look at all the scratch marks. That is just fingernails, believe it or not. People just going like this to open the door. They will come out, of course, but the whole car is going to need an amazingly good buff, as it were. I'm going to have to polish with a machine, as in machine polish this entire car, because there are many scratches. There's some down here, there's some up here, there's obviously these in the doors, there's a few on this back bumper as well. I may have to dress this rear plastic portion of the back bumper because it's kind of faded over the years. There's bird crap all over it, as is often the case around here, and there is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, a scratch that goes all the way down both doors, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, you can't feel it with your fingernail, so I'm pretty sure that will buff out. What else to show you? I'll show you the inside as well, ever so quickly, because this, as I said, is just an intro video. Nice little place to be. The seats are incredibly comfortable, almost like a kind of bucket seat affair, but just a cloth interior, little bit of wear there, which does surprise me. Now, bearing in mind the mileage, if you have a look there, 44,462 miles. All right, I know it's 10 years old, 11 years old, but you wouldn't expect to see that much wear on a car that's done less than 45,000 miles. And if we look in here, even the press button, I don't know if you guys can see that, but even the plastic, the red plastic there on that button, it looks really faded, which is a quandary to me. I can't quite work out how it looks so old inside and worn. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd think this has done 144,000 miles, but it has actually only done 44. Hence why I bought it. I'll have a little look under the bonnet while we're here, guys. Again, looking in underneath here, nothing really to be concerned about, no obvious oil leaks. The oil filter looks relatively new, so I'm assuming it's been quite well maintained. Battery looks fine, just very dirty, which is an oddity. I mean, I can only assume this was not abused per se, but it was just used as a car. Nobody really loved it per se. They just used it, serviced it, MOT'd it when they needed to, etc, but didn't really look after it as much as perhaps they should have done. I mean, as I said, bear in mind, this has done 44,000 miles, and it looks like it's done 144,000 miles, and I wish we had smelly vision. I wish I could show you how it stinks inside. Another smoker's car, I guess, but it smells like it's been sat in a salvage yard for the last 12 months. Maybe it has, who knows? Maybe it's been in and out of auction 100 times and people just couldn't get on with it. Anyway, that is going to be pretty much it for this intro video. You can see what's wrong with it. Headlight, wing, bumper. That's going to be it for this. We've got the wing, as you know, down there. We've got the headlight. I'm hoping to fix that bumper. We will find out in part 2 of this video exactly what we're going to get ourselves into. We'll whip that wheel off, get it up on a jack stand. I will have to get this bumper off whatever happens, because as usual, you got to take the bumper off to get the headlight out. Yeah, it just drives me insane. And we'll get that wing off, and then we'll offer everything up as we did in the Vauxhall Corsa video and see how we are. If you're interested in that, then consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up, a like and a share. That really helps, guys. Takes you a second, means the world to me. And then, as I said, what we'll do in the second part of this video, we'll whip this wheel off, whip this wing off and this light. We'll have a little look at maybe doing the bumper, but I might leave that for another video. It all depends how easy this is going to come apart and how easy it's going to go back together. We never know until we get in behind here. So, as I said, if you're interested in following this little series along, then consider subscribing, and we will catch up in about a fortnight's time when, as I said, part 2, we'll get this stripped out and see exactly what we're dealing with. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you, or you'll see me, in a couple of weeks. All right, take care.